Greetings, dear viewers. You are on the Cross Motor channel. Friends, when it comes to early motorcycles produced in China, which is the period of the 1950s to 1970s of the last century, some of you will surely remember Changjiang machines, built on the basis of Soviet heavy motorcycles with a sidecar. And indeed, in the 1950s, the Soviets helped China master the production of machines that trace their roots back to the German BMW. However, during that period, there was another motorcycle with a sidecar being produced, and if you look at its engine, it becomes clear that the British school of motorcycle engineering played a role here as well. The name of this motorcycle is Donghai 750, and now I'll tell you more about it. Enjoy watching. The history of this motorcycle begins back in the distant year of 1966. That year, Chinese motorcycle manufacturers and industrialists were tasked with creating a powerful and easy-to-maintain motorcycle with a sidecar for military needs. The design drawings were ready as early as 1967, and a year later, the Donghai 750 prototype was unveiled. The motorcycle was to be produced by the Shanghai Motorcycle Factory. The Donghai engine is an exact copy of the English Triumph. Well, as much as you can call it exact. The manufacturing culture in China at that time was quite low, so it's not worth talking about the quality of the components or the Triumph-like power characteristics from this engine. According to various sources, the Donghai engine could boast a maximum power output ranging from 26 to 32 horsepower at 4,500 revolutions per minute. The parallel overhead valve twin had a displacement of 745 cc and a square bore and stroke dimension of 78 by 78 mm. The compression ratio was 7:1, which was lower compared to Triumph. After all, the purpose of these motorcycles was a bit different. While the single-cylinder Triumphs were geared towards sportiness and were valued by young people in Britain and the US for their acceleration and speed, Donghai was made for the military and had to run on low-octane fuel and deliver good torque. Both cylinders were fed by a single carburetor. The gearbox was 4-speed with no reverse gear. At the same time, the shifting was not done according to the classic pattern most motorcyclists are used to, that is, first gear down second and subsequent gears up. On the Donghai, all gears were shifted down, neutral, first, second, third, fourth, and back. The drive to the rear wheel was by chain, which, since the motorcycle was primarily intended for the military, was enclosed in a protective cover. The gearbox held 3 liters of oil, and the engine itself was designed with a dry sump system, with its 3 liters of oil stored in a separate tank. Donghai 750 could accelerate up to 90 km/h with a sidecar and up to 120 km/h when ridden solo, but only for a short period of time. The engine was prone to strong vibrations because, firstly, it was a parallel twin at 360 degrees without any balance shafts. And secondly, at the Shanghai Motorcycle Factory, they didn't really care much about precision. The weight differences between connecting rods or pistons could be as much as 10 grams. The Chinese motorcycle with a sidecar consumed 7 to 8 liters of fuel, and its gas tank held 20 to 25 liters. The curb weight was 400 kilograms. Otherwise, in terms of the chassis, it was a classic sidecar motorcycle design of that era.
No rider becomes an expert overnight. First, you learn from experienced riders.
Need help?
Investing can work the same way. Meet eToro, a multi-assets investment platform where you can follow top investors, view their portfolios, and even copy their trades automatically. Join real-time market conversations with ideas, trends, and questions as events unfold. And all of that connects to a wide range of assets, including stocks, crypto, ETFs, and more, all in one platform. eToro is a regulated service with over 40 million users across more than 75 countries. Start investing with eToro and get $50 worth of stock when you deposit $200 or more. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code and get your $50 worth of stock now. Join the largest social investments platform and learn from the pros. Now, back to the video.
In 1971, only about 7,000 sidecar motorcycles were produced, most of which were sent to Albania and Vietnam, which were friendly to China at that time, and only a small number remained in Shanghai. As of 1984, the Donghai 750 model was called the SM 750, which literally meant Shanghai motorcycle, with a 750cc engine. By that time, a total of 20,000 units had rolled off the assembly line. The main part of these motorcycles served in the communications units of major military districts. In its final production years, the motorcycle featured both an electric starter and a kickstarter. The Shanghai Motorcycle Factory stopped producing the Donghai 750 in 1985 and spare parts a year later. The motorcycle was quite simple, and overall it could be repaired on the spot using the standard toolkit. The Donghai 750 is often compared to the Changjiang Sidecar. The inline twin accelerated faster from a stop than the Boxer engine, but in other ways, the Donghai trailed the BMW R71's descendant. The engine of the Shanghai motorcycle was prone to overheating under heavy loads and at low speeds. The Donghai consisted of about 5,000 parts, while its Boxer competitor had only about 2,600, and this fact negatively affected its operation and reliability. Despite what seemed to be a sufficient production run of 20,000 Donghai 750 units, this motorcycle is extremely rare nowadays. In its homeland, that is in China, only about 10 Donghai 750 motorcycles have survived. Want to hear something funny? Most likely, more of these bikes have survived in Germany than in China itself. In 1982, the first of these motorcycles were imported by Donghai China Ford Sog Fair Trips, GmbH, from Rüsselsheim. Initially, annual meetings of Donghai riders were held in this town. The price was 6,500 German marks, including an 11% sales tax, which today is equivalent to about 7,300 euros. Since 1984, the motorcycles were also sold by the Hamburg company Detlev Lewis for 9,000 German marks. It is estimated that only about 60 units of the Donghai 750 were registered in Germany. And here are these shots from a very famous motorcycle event called Elefantentreffen, which confirm this. So my friends, that's the story of the now obscure Chinese sidecar motorcycle, the Donghai 750. At this point, my story comes to an end. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this story, support it with a comment and a repost. You've been watching CrossMoto. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.